Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and today we are going to begin building the ship for the smugglers, which is called the Sea Ghost, and that is going to be going right here on the eastern part of the bay, which is just within my base area. Now, of course, it's not going to be that simple, as we are going to see when we arrive at the coordinates here. I have a smaller version of the map, and we are going to check out the site. Here we are at the inlet leading into the bay, and here we are at the bay itself. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the water is too shallow. Way too shallow. There's no way that a ship with a 3-meter draft is going to be able to go into this area. In fact, if you look at here, it is 1, 2, oh, looks like 2 meters deep in some places. Not exactly what you would call a good place to place a ship with a 3-meter draft. Therefore, what are we going to do? Now, at first I thought this whole thing would be impossible, but then it may actually help in doing the build. I could build the ship with it in this current place, meaning being more of a swamp than a bay, really. But once that's all done, I could clear out all this stuff and open everything in so that there is a nice clear channel for the ship. Now there's also getting this all nice and opened up. So I could have to do some, I guess, underwater terraforming or whatever you would call that. And therefore get the seabed to a position where I'll actually be able to imagine the ship coming in and coming out at the various times. But in the meantime, while we're building the ship, is the high land line, or I should say the very shallow waters here, are going to help me to build it more easily, because I'm wondering how am I going to build a ship all nice and easily when I've got to go underwater and all. And the answer is I will build it while the water is still shallow, and then I'll deepen it afterwards. The next trick is that this ship is nearly 30 meters long. Actually, I think 25 is how long I plan to make it. So let's see, how many blocks have we got here? Probably the best thing to do here is to look at my measurements here. So we started out about, let's say, 1300. Make sure that we can get all the way up to 1325 without any trouble. Yeah, we've got room to build the ship good, and that is the length of the ship. And we should have plenty of room for the width, the beam, which I believe is supposed to be 9 meters wide. So I think we could fit this in. I'll just need a place to set my stuff so that I can get to it, sleep, and all of that. Make sure there are no nasty things anywhere around here that will come and bite me as soon as I do anything. Let's see, maybe I've brought more than enough chests here. Let's get a chest right here. Plop the extras in there. Why we need 6 workbenches, I have absolutely no idea. Actually, I think it's because I had the extra workbenches from when I was doing the warehouse there. Alright, we have all those things plus a bed, and that should be all I need for this area. And a little place to put the boat. And now I need a place which to start on the ship. Now, what's something that could plausibly be where we could plausibly see the haunted house, of course, because the haunted house is the entire reason why it's in here is so that it could see the haunted house. And that cave, that currently I think we have that cave closed up because zombies were getting inside of the area. So I have to take that into account. Boy, respiration is really nice. And alright, that's right there is where the cave is. So I really don't easily see the cave, but actually that's the... But that was one of the ideas, is that the cave would not be easily seen at other times. So therefore someone could come here and be able to do some signaling down there. And unless you know what to look for, you're probably not going to notice anything. Though some defense against zombies and the like will probably be a good idea before long. After considering matters, I've decided to make this ship 30 blocks long instead of 25 and make it 9 blocks wide. And that's because with 25, the ideal width I think would be 8, and I don't want an even number. Therefore, I am going to try it with 30 long and 9 wide. And I think that should do what I want to do. Now I need to get... about right here. I need to be reasonably close, but not too close. Let's get rid of this seagrass over here and clear out the bottom, because I don't want to have to contend with this as I'm doing my shipbuilding. Well, usually I think of pale colors when it comes to ghosts. I am going to be making the sea ghost out of dark oak, because I'm going to say that it's called the sea ghost because it goes through the night being unseen. And being unseen in the night, of course, would be easier if you are a dark color, such as dark oak. Now I'm going to do the outline on the floor here at the full width and length of the ship. Even though it's probably going to curve in a little bit when we actually do the finished product. And that way it'll make it easier for me to do my building up above the water level. So we will begin right here. Actually, let's start out with a little bit of a square, then we could fill things in afterwards. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, that'll be our width. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, that's going to be fun. Maybe I should also get Aqua Affinity for this thing. Here's our square outline that we'll be using. We are going to have some tapering, of course, in the bow area. It's going to curve slowly around, so I'm going to have to do some sort of arc design, sort of a semicircle coming up here. Not quite a semicircle, of course, but close to what you would have there. In the stern here, down at the aft section of the ship, we will be tapering in slightly and then have a flatter back. So let's start out with that a little bit. How about we just go in by... Oh, we do have that to worry about, don't we? Of course, water is going to be one of those fun little things we are going to have to deal with all around here, but it's going to be easier to do it this way than for us to just attempt to do the whole thing. I think just by starting at the top and doing the shape first. Alright, there we go. Now that doesn't look perfect. I guess we will have to have that go in like that so that we have a little bit more, so it doesn't look too silly there. And let's take this out. Right, that's our curve in the back side. Good. And or not so good. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Whoopsie daisy. Then we'll, yeah, we want this thing to be symmetrical, of course. Much better. Here's the center of the bow. We will go one back on either side of it. Then we'll be targeting this location right here as to where we'll start to curve in a little bit here. So we'll come in one like this, one like this, one like this. Let's see how that works. It might actually work. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And 1, 2. At this scale, there isn't much we can do. This isn't a super line or anything like this. There's only so much we can do. And one more. Good, and then we try the same thing on the other side. And with luck, it should look something close to resembling a ship. Wait, these things are going all over the place. And this is even without dolphins coming around to play with it. I don't see too many dolphins around here. So that won't be a problem. Let's see. Alright. Oh. We don't want this here. Yeah. Good. Now we have an outline. The sides of the ship move up 3 meters. Actually, we'll go like this, and boom, 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 boom. And on top of this will be the upper rails, though we will want to go out a little bit, I think, but not too much. I will say that right here would be a good place to, oops, well, wrong direction. Maybe right place, but certainly wrong direction. Therefore, we want to go like this. Good. And then we can flare out from there. Let's get rid of this, and now that'll give us our reference on one side, and then onto, oh, I guess I have to get back on this side, up like that. Good. Now I got to get this repeated all the way down. Here is the result with the outline of the ship going all the way through with our bow there and our stern over here. And I made a little gangplank, which is rather uncharacteristically going into the starboard side. And here's our railing going up here. Now, this is where the railings are for the main section of the ship, but we have to add an additional 3 blocks for the quarterdeck over here and for the forecastle over here, which means after this point I will have to add more blocks and continue on my way up. The ship is already getting difficult to navigate, so I'm going to place down my main deck right now so that I can have a nice way to get around without having to worry about jumping down into the water over there. Whoops, daisy. Hopefully this will make things a little bit easier to build. I've finished up with the main deck. Of course, there will be hatches and ladders and the like going down below, so we'll make those holes later on. I was just getting started on the upper deck when I realized I must have gotten the count wrong, I went to the level with the rail and then 3 more up, but that's wrong. I should have counted the level with the rail. Thus, I got a little bit too high here. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments. Actually, the bow looks correct. It's only on the aft section where I fouled that up. Well, let's take these down, get them to the right size. Then we can get the rest of this built up. The ladder for the quarterdeck is on the port side, so we'll try to get this here. We'll need to put it like that and like that. Good. Let's get rid of that. I guess that means that we should replace this with this. Good. And I think that will work. Ooh, actually, let's have a look at that. Ooh, starting to come into shape. Now let's finish this little bit. The bow looks a little bit too blocky, but I'll have to worry about that later. It's Minecraft, so there might not be much we can do about that. See how it looks at a distance like this? It'll look more like a ship once we get the sails up, I would think. See, we've got that up there. I think it's starting to shape up a little bit. Vaguely shippish, even if not perfectly so. Actually, the map version looks pretty close to what a ship would look like. But I think I'm still going to need a little bit work on getting to look that way when we're on this side here. But I think we've got our basic layout, at least for the main deck and the upper decks here. We'll worry about the decoration later. I think next time we are going to take care of below that decks so that we could have, let's see, what do we have? We have the hold and the bilges. Anything else? Yep, just the hold and the bilges. The hold will probably be slightly larger than the 3 blocks that we have here, and the bilges would be smaller because the bilges are rarely someplace where anyone goes. And I think that will take care of today's episode. Next time, let's take care of the below decks and maybe even look at putting a mask on this thing. And we'll see in the next episode of Pineleaf Plays Minecraft Welstopia.